Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Welcome back.
Last week, Zach didn't film with me, but we have him here today.
I'm here and I'm present. We are roughly 2.5 weeks into spring training.
Yeah.
Down here in Florida. We're loving it. Living in the camper's been awesome.
Yeah, the weather is awesome.
It has been great.
Spring in Florida is very nice. It's not super humid yet, so I definitely love that. Zach has been going to baseball every day, and I pretty much just do my work around the camper, and then sometimes we'll go shoot together, but for the most part, it's been working out pretty good with both of our schedules.
Yeah. I go in the mornings, and she gets to, do her stuff on her computer, editing, all that good stuff, and I get to come home and then take pictures.
Yeah, he's my photographer. He's improved a lot over the years. Say that.
I'd say so.
So for today's video, we thought it would be fun to tell the story of how we met and tell y'all some stories about when we were younger and when we were dating.
I feel like this is a fun video.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So for those of you that don't know, Zach and I actually met in 5th grade. We were 10 years old, and we ended up being in the same class at our school.
Yeah, that's where we met, in intermediate school.
Yeah.
And now we're married.
Do you remember our first conversation?
Yeah, I think so. Where I said, you got pretty blue eyes.
He had a crush on me from like the first week of school.
I did.
And the funniest part about it is that we had completely different heights.
Yeah, I was
at that
really
age,
short.
Zach was naturally just shorter.
Yeah.
And I grew really fast for a girl and for my age, so I was probably almost a foot taller.
Yeah.
It was funny, and I started liking him back once he told me he liked me, but the very first conversation I ever remember us having, Zach came up to me and said, "You have pretty blue eyes," and I was so sassy, and I was like, "My eyes are green." And I was like offended that he thought my eyes were blue, but really he was just being sweet.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
You were confident for a 10-year-old.
I guess I was.
Yeah. And then I remember after that he asked me what my favorite sport was, and for some reason I said basketball, and then he got like a little upset because he wanted me to say baseball or softball.
Yeah. And you went on to like be a stud softball player.
I did play softball for a few years back in my prime.
Back in the prime.
Speaking of softball, I had tournaments a lot in junior high, and Zach and I were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. I don't know if it really counts when we're that young.
Yeah, whatever dating was back then.
But his parents brought him to one of my tournaments to see me play.
So me and my dad, in between games, we were playing catch with the softball, and he smoked me in the eye, and I had to go to the hospital and had to get stitches. Busted I still have the scar on my eyebrow. Busted my eyebrow up, but I was a trooper, and I came back to watch Cameron.
And I think we won that tournament.
Oh, y'all did?
Yeah, I remember winning, and my parents drove us home, and Zach had his stitches on his eyebrow. So it's really funny because you still have the scar.
I do.
See if you can show it to him.
Well, you see it right there. I was very embarrassed because they had to shave my eyebrow, and so after like it kind of cleared up, I still didn't really have an eyebrow, so that was kind of embarrassing.
Good times.
Good times. Another memory that we had was homecoming, 5th grade, and I asked Cameron, because we were dating.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a big tradition in other states, but in Texas, homecoming is such a big deal. You exchange moms, you go to the game together, you usually go to a dance together afterwards. It's just a really big deal, so I was excited that he asked me to be his date.
So I asked Cameron to homecoming, and we went to the football game together, and me and a couple of buddies were throwing the football around, and I made a really bad throw and ended up hitting her square in the face. And did you cry?
Yeah, I started bawling. I was in 5th grade.
I felt really bad.
And like my eye, like everywhere turned red, and I was really embarrassed.
She was upset. At least you didn't like bust a lip or something.
Yeah. Oh, another funny memory is that our very first date when we were in 5th grade was his dad took both of us to the movies to see Barnyard, and it's an animated movie. I haven't seen it since then, I don't think. But
it's an animated movie where I think like the main character's a cow.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember that like me and Zach sat next to each other and his dad sat one row behind us. And then we shared a bucket of popcorn, and we had a drink that we were sharing, but we didn't want to drink out of the same straw, so we had 2 straws.
I don't remember that. She remembers a lot more stuff than I do.
I have a pretty detailed memory, but it's very selective. Like, I'll remember things that happened years ago very specifically, and then I won't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So, and then Zach's is just bad altogether.
Mine's kind of the opposite of that.
All throughout like 5th grade and junior high, Zach and I liked each other, and we were considered boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were pretty much just best friends for the most part. Like, we would break up off and on, and we were just dumb little kids. I remember this one time we got into a fight while we were playing basketball in one of our neighbors' driveways, and we, for some reason, were just like being so competitive about like one-on-one basketball or something like that.
Flirting.
Yeah, and it ended up in a fight, and then Zach got so mad he chunked a basketball at me, and I dodged it, and then I like called him a name, and he rode away on his little bike and went home and told his mom, and then his mom called my mom.
Gosh.
And then our moms made us apologize to each other. We definitely had a lot of arguing growing up because we were just best friends. There were a few years where we didn't really talk that much, and we kind of just did our own thing, but then our junior year of high school is when we reconnected and officially started dating again.
Our first official date went to a Ben Rector concert at the coffee shop we got engaged at. So that was kind of a special moment.
So we ended up getting engaged there about 4 years later, 4 or 5 years, I'm not sure. But we always go back to the same coffee shop where we had our first date when we were teenagers every year on our engage-iversary.
Our senior prom,
Yeah.
which is a huge deal for the girls.
It's a big deal for the guys,
yeah, I guess
too.
it is.
It's
but
just fun.
It's a good time. We were having a good time.
Yeah.
Stepping off of our party bus that we got, Cameron was stepping off of it, and I stepped on her dress, and she took another step and ripped a part of her dress off.
A piece of fabric literally got detached from the rest of my dress because he stepped on it, and I was walking forward at the same time, and it just split and ripped off. And in that moment, I thought the world was ending. I was like, oh my gosh.
I thought I just committed the worst crime.
Yeah, I wasn't very nice to Zach about it. I was like, oh my gosh, my dress is ripped. This is the worst night ever. And I went to the bathroom, and I was like freaking out, and Zach was calling, I think he was calling his parents. He was gonna see if they could come like fix my dress somehow, but ended up not being that big of a deal. Once the initial just upsetting, once it passed over, I got over it, and I never wore that dress again. So looking back now, it's funny, but at the time I was very
she was very upset.
I was very dramatic.
It was such a fun time up until that point, and then I just thought I ran senior year for a year.
But we got over it. We're still going strong.
Yeah,
Zach is the sweetest person now. He never says mean things about anyone, but he definitely had his little punk moments whenever we were younger. He could be really mean sometimes. Back in 5th grade, Aeropostale had just become the thing, and it was really cool to wear Aeropostale, Abercrombie, Hollister, all those brands that nobody really wears now. But at the time, I didn't have any of those. I mainly had clothes from like Target and Justice. No, not Justice, like Limited Too, stuff like that. And so when I got my first Aeropostale shirt, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I would wear it pretty frequently, I guess, because Zach came up to me one day in 5th grade, and he was like, "Is that the only shirt you have?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, you just wear it a lot."
Yeah.
And I was so upset, so I stopped wearing it.
I was a punk.
And then I asked my mom if she would buy me more Aeropostale and Abercrombie shirts.
It makes me feel really bad. Alright, so in junior high, I would ride home with Cameron and Cameron's mom after school. And we would, after school, we had like a period of time where we would get to hang out. Our mom was finishing up work, and we would literally fight all the time.
Yeah, we would just go at it every day. Like, we would fight from the minute school ended until my mom dropped him off every single day, which was probably an hour or an hour and a half.
Yeah, we did.
I want to say that was like the end of 6th grade. So
Yeah.
like end of 6th, maybe some in 7th grade. So something really sweet that Zach did when we were younger is in 6th grade, we sat right by each other in our math class. He sat right behind me, and he wrote me a note one day, and he drew like this big heart on it. I still remember this. He drew like this huge heart on it and then put "I love you" in the inside, and he passed it to me in class, and I just gave it back to him, and I was like, "Don't say that to me."
She's mean.
I don't know why I was so sassy in 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah, we had our moments.
Yeah. So those are just a few of our favorite memories that we have together from growing up. It's been really cool to see each other in so many different stages of life. I've seen Zach as a 10-year-old, a teenager, even through like my college years.
Yeah.
And now we're in adult life and we're married, and it's just completely different, but it's really fun to look back and reminisce on all the memories we had throughout the years.
But we could probably sit here and make an hour-long video.
Yeah.
But those are some of our favorite ones. Thank you for watching our YouTube video.
If you liked this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And if you want to see more videos like this, let us know and we will make that happen.
We will do them. Yeah.
Thank you again for watching this video, and we will see y'all next time.
See you next time.
Why do you do that, goofball?